If you're just discovering rap, you'll potentially hear the path that's possible based on the experiences, wisdom, and passion of the people whose lives have changed as a result of the values, ethics, and guidelines created by people who experienced mental health and addictions challenges, while also experiencing crisis, hospitalization, need for support services, and homelessness. I discovered rap through Google. I was looking to work on a program specifically tailored for my trauma experiences and my continued need to connect with myself in order to save and protect myself. It felt as though it was divine intervention to discover Mary Ellen Copeland's brilliance and empathy to the human experience. In fact, she's nothing like any author or sales pitcher I'd ever encountered before. I was broke, even though I had the right to coverage, service, and support through organizations I'm affiliated with, but whistleblowers and the voices of opposition don't get invited to cookouts or even public meetings in my experience. I also endured a painful series of pointless paths directed by authority, which stripped me of my humanity at the time. Attempts at obtaining psychiatric intensive care at a local hospital resulted in an absolute denial of service listed on the hospital website, and a follow up from a social worker ended up with the familiar line, "We're doing the best we can." My attempt to appeal for inclusion at the Copeland Center for Wellness and Recovery's $399 US Seminar 1 online course based on my circumstances didn't come to fruition, in spite of what I understood their mission to be, but I am not one to practice entitlement, so maybe it wasn't my time. But then one day, an invitation to participate in a free group came. I snapped at the chance with gratitude. Partway through, the organization hosting moved offices, which meant that the groups would be canceled. Not coping with the idea of not being able to to the next step and become a co-facilitator didn't sit with me. So I created an opportunity for the organization to partner with Other World Treasures, a small business loaded with wellness tools in a space designed for folks to gather and connect. The next step was being connected to free co-facilitator training at Psychiatric Survivors of Ottawa, invited by Mood Disorders Ottawa. A last-minute cancellation meant an opportunity to be included arose. I met Tom and Melissa and heard that our region could use a third advanced level facilitator, since people and organizations need the support to reach folks who otherwise fall through the cracks, or whose circumstances don't set them up for success in appealing for support or advocacy. Participation in this training led to many more opportunities to connect with Tom, whose approach spoke to me, that version of me, in a way that felt safe even when nothing else did. Then, before I could put the tools and training into action, the world seemed to hit a big reset. Doors closed, shuttered, and people seemed to turn on each other. I feel I'm always a target for people's judgments and speculation, mostly because I've been criticized for my reaction to trauma for a lifetime, most often from folks who deny simply because they couldn't face the truth. No matter what I said, did, or posted, the culture of critique and manipulation of folks living with stigma opened the doors to further abuse, and many different abusers simply fueled by their own negativity. But I stayed connected and I found opportunities to learn, grow, and be supported. Becoming advanced level facilitator trained and being instrumental in the first groups back in Ottawa will forever be life affirming and changing to me. Doing the first group with a co-facilitator who ran my first group and supported my need to keep it going, then recommended me, was mind-blowing. Refreshing facilitators working across the system and advocating for several people I believed in was next level achievement for me. Succeeding in writing a proposal, a micro grant for an organization I'd previously co supported was self-fulfilling. And then achieving a proposal approval for $12,000 for community-based groups in my home continued to raise that bar. While rap's future is bright and continues to reach people around the world, fair and equal access continues to be an issue, and adherence to the evidence-based model has eroded over the years. But I find one thing hasn't changed in rap since its inception. People who need the tools and experience the results of connecting with themselves through the experience of others continues to find a way, recover and thrive. They continue to become thought leaders, examples and beacons for others who are often misread, misunderstood, and mislabeled by others. I'm unsure about my rap facilitation future because I'm a disabled bus operator who simply wanted to get a grip on my life and how I experienced it. I'm affiliated by experience and action, but hold no true role in the system or its organizations outside of being a human and artist with lived experience. And I'm unsure if I've ever been truly invited or considered equal, since many of my ideas are on shelves or back burners. I've introduced it to my supporters, family, friends, and community now. I can only hope that when I use and communicate my action plan to support plans, the responders will understand why it's pivotal, critical, and moral to ensure we're living the work, not creating more work for others to access it. I'm thankful for the chance to obtain the following evaluations, although I'm still unsure how I got there, how it used to work, or how it works to be invited to do it again. So far, it seems everyone is doing their best. This time, I can see it for my own eyes. I can also embody wishing everyone could be on the same page. I know we can through some key concepts and a willingness to get together and take action. From here to fruition. In wellness, Angus Wright, CPS, ALF, eCPR, CWM, Angus by Design. When asked what was the most helpful to them about the rap group I co-facilitated, workshop evaluation participants shared learning to utilize the wellness toolbox, learning about coping strategy and planning for crisis, as well as learning more about mental health in general. Crisis planning and wellness toolbox, recovery wellness toolbox and avoiding crisis, giving helpful ideas. What was most helpful with RAP was being able to identify my early warning signs, triggers, and how to use coping mechanisms in the wellness toolbox. Hearing examples of what RAP is and what it does for people. When asked about the most important thing that they may have learned in our sessions, workshop evaluation participants shared the 5 key concepts and how they descend in the order of actionability. The wellness toolbox, that I can write out which medication I do and do not wish to take. Wellness toolbox again, tools to prevent meltdown, who I don't want to include in my crisis plan, and I learned about the 5 key concepts of RAP. When asked if there was anything else that they'd like to share, workshop evaluation participants shared it helped to take stock of the tools one already possesses, which is empowering. It was a very wild group dynamic, and I loved working with others. It was a barrel of laughs. Very well done. Or very done well. Amazing job. I really appreciate it. Interesting source material. And the presenter went above and beyond in being able to identify what rap is all about and just did an overall excellent job in teaching us tools of what we can apply to ourselves should things ever get bad with our mental health. I created a personal version of a strengths exercise that I learned in my personal community of practice. where I drew an outline of a person. I believe in centering the person in anything I take personally. Inside the outline, I asked people to list a strength of theirs and add their name to the top of the page. We then took time to pass the sheets around, and participants voluntarily provided feedback on what resonated with them about the person on the page. I shared a strength I have is being curious. They shared calm, cool, and collected. Very entertaining. You are good at explaining things. Truly soothing. You're very kind. You have a great beard. Understanding. And I really appreciate your passion and enthusiasm.